Tip of the cap to ya, and welcome to How Do We Human. This is the podcast where we talk about all the weird and uncomfortable micro moments in life. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Binning.
I'm one of your hosts, Evan Cox.
Today we're going to be talking about hats.
Hats. Talking about hats.
Hats. Caps. Beanies.
Don't get too far ahead of yourself.
Yeah, I know. I'm just so
We're not going to have anything to talk about. We're just going to list caps.
Caps.
Hats. Beanies. Oh, shit. That is it.
That's it. That's the end of the episode.
Bonnets.
Okay. Let's pump the
hat.
brakes here. And Evan, I'd like to ask, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing all right. I'm doing A-okay. I've got a little follow-up from a previous episode.
Great.
You might remember semi-recently we talked about posture.
Yes.
I was talking about, the chiropractor told me I have rounded shoulders and I need to do these like stretches and exercises to kind of stand up tall. And at the end of that episode, we were talking about confidence and like, do we think having good posture would actually have an effect on your confidence or other people's interpretation? how confident other people see us.
Yeah.
And so I said I was gonna do my work. I was gonna do my little exercises and my stretches. Try to have better posture.
Catwalk.
Do a little dance, make a little love. Do a little turn on the catwalk.
That's the mashup we need right there.
Do a dance, make a little love. Do a little turn on the catwalk. Just really bring the energy down.
I would say that we should put that mashup at the end of the episode if I didn't think it meant Spotify was going to take our episode down.
Oh, true. I'll consider it because I kind of want to just hear it. Maybe I'll make it and put it on social media.
Whoa.
The Wild West. They don't take down anything.
No, they sure don't.
So I was doing my stretches and I would like really, 90% of the walking I do is walking my dog, as I've said constantly on this podcast. Which is probably a bad thing. I should probably walk other places too. I just walk my dog a few times a day, and that's all the walking I get. So I've been walking around town, shoulders back, standing up kind of straight, and just walking. The second day, so it was like the day we recorded that podcast, I went out, I started doing that, just kind of like, all right. And after doing the stretches, it's a little more comfortable, a little less strain on me to fully stand up straight and tall. And I feel like I'm not right now. I'm going to move my microphone. So that was the day we recorded the podcast. The very next day, I was walking around town, strutting my stuff, and there's a car in my way coming out of their driveway, blocking the sidewalk, trying to pull out, but they couldn't. It's a stupid busy street. They couldn't pull out, so they were stuck there, and they were looking at my dog. There's 3 people, and they were all like, "Oh, your dog's such a cute dog." Da, 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 da. And then someone also said to me, like, I forget, like, "Yeah, hello to you too, sir," or something like that, because they were just strictly talking to my dog. So I was like, "Oh, hi." And then they started pulling out. But before they got fully to the street, the guy who was driving, it was a guy driving, 2 women in the back. Well, one in the front, one in the back.
Yeah.
He wasn't a chauffeur.
Woman in the front, woman in the back.
Party in the front seat, party in the back seat. Flip it. Fun. Friday. Anyway. So the guy says to me, "Excuse me, sir, but are you single?"
Oh, interesting.
And I said, no, I'm not. I was just kind of laughing, and the whole car is like kind of and the guy
Yeah.
says, he says, too bad, you seem awesome. And I said, thank you. And they pulled out in the traffic and left. I'm like, is this what standing up straight is?
How old were these people?
They seemed about my age. Elderly.
Elderly.
No, I'd say mid-30s.
Okay. Interesting. Um that's a wild story.
It was a wild time.
And it's also like I would find, if I were in your shoes, I would find it flattering, but
Yes.
also um a wee bit strange, because now, even though it's a positive thing, I'm going to be thinking about this the rest of the day, maybe the rest of the week, maybe the rest of 2022. But are these people ever going to think about this interaction again?
Probably not.
I think not.
Yeah.
Which is strange to me. Like, it's nice. You know what? This is what it is. This is what it all boils down to, ladies and gentlemen.
Boil it.
Trust issues.
Yeah.
It's like, what happened here?
What is this? What?
Come, put your car in reverse and explain yourself.
Well, their car was in reverse. They were backing out. So
Oh, I thought they were pulling out into the street.
you would have just slammed them back into moving traffic.
Floor it.
Sorry, sir. Are you single? Put your car in reverse and get out of here. I have trust issues. I'm choosing to look at it fully positively, and that's just an example, which is something I'll never do. It's not that hard to just give other random strangers nice compliments. Don't be creepy.
Oh,
don't be a
sure.
weirdo. Don't go catcalling.
Right.
And that's very nice for them, and you don't ever have to think about it again.
Yeah. I know it is. That's the thing. That's what I mean. Like the trust issues is like, I want there to be people like that in the world who just do give nice, genuine compliments to people. But I also don't understand it. I can't wrap my brain around
a car full of people wanted to
happening.
date me.
Yeah, wow.
And I said, back on up into traffic.
That's right.
So hey, it's my theory. Not my theory. My little experience standing up tall. So, going well so far.
Yeah.
But Chris,
yes.
how are you doing?
This is great because our stories are quite opposite. You may remember a story from many episodes ago, when I was getting off the bus, and hey, I'm thanking the bus driver, and as are many other passengers. And each time that somebody says thank you to the bus driver, they say something back, and then I say thank you to the bus driver, and they say nothing.
No.
I'm at Ralph's the other day, and I went there after work to buy hand soap. Is really the main purpose that I went there for. We were out of hand soap in the bathroom, and that bothers me.
That's the worst.
And while I'm there, I like pick up some other things that I know we need.
Arm soap,
shoulder soap, torso.
I don't have
soap.
The whole set. I'm bothered.
Gotta collect them all. And
gotta catch them all.
I don't know if grocery stores near you have done this at all, but the Ralphs that are closest to me now have little like gates set up near soap, shampoo, all the hygiene products. They've got like a little gate that's open, um, but it's extra security, so there's only one entrance in and out of those aisles.
Oh, I've seen this in the old Food for Less across from UCB.
Okay.
Neither of which is there anymore.
And I know that the Food for Less is gone. Not that
the
we need
Food
to.
for Less is gone.
Not that we need to talk about this, but
and the McDonald's is gone.
The McDonald's too.
Yeah. Anyways, go on with your story.
Probably
I just said
to build
that
a bunch
whole fucking
more
block's gone.
Ugly, wildly expensive apartment buildings.
Shitty douche.
Yeah, to create quote unquote more affordable housing. The biggest lie in Los Angeles. Anyway. Not by the way, this is not a company-wide policy to do at Ralph's, because the Ralph's in North Hollywood and the Ralph's in Burbank do not have these gates. But the ones that are closest to me do. And when I got to this Ralph's at, I don't know, 11 at night, they had closed that gate and locked it. Hope you don't need any hygiene products. But whatever. I buy, an assortment of other things that we need. And not only is the hygiene area closed, but so is the self-checkout. My best friend. Which means I have to go to the one open lane. And there's a line. I wait in the line. I see the cashier very friendly with everybody. Even the guy directly in front of me who is struggling to put together all of his different payment options to equal the total. And I thought about just reaching over, being like, hey, I got this. I got your milk and Reese's Puffs. That was all he was buying. I was like, whatever, I could pay for this. But I also don't want to be that guy that's like, excuse me, sir, I'll pay for this. Because it's not even like
I'm your king now.
Exactly. Reese's Puffs for everyone. It wasn't like he was like, oh no, I don't have the money. It was like, oh, I'm paying this amount of cash, this amount of card, this amount of like food stamps, or there was some other third thing. I wasn't. I was trying not to eavesdrop.
I get it.
Yeah. No. But anyway, he figures his thing out. He leaves. And now it's my turn to pay for my like 5 items. And the cashier doesn't say a fucking word to me.
Whoa.
The whole time. And I mean, there's not even like a hi. There's not even a like, can I see your Ralph's card? There's not a your total is. Like, yikes. Not a word.
Holy crap.
I pay for my stuff in silence and I leave. But like, what's that about? Was I buying the wrong things? What was happening?
I was gonna say maybe he was trying to give you the self-checkout experience, but even that talks to you.
Yeah. Please place your item in the bagging area.
Oh, that'd be so weird if a person started doing that. Please place your item in the bagging area. I can't even say that.
I know.
That's eerie.
It was a bit of a tongue twister, surprisingly. It caught me off guard.
You got through it pretty good. Please place is hard. Please place your item in the bagging area. Whew.
Yeah. We both know the exact tone that it speaks in, which is the upward inflection at the end of the sentence, but the words itself were a little difficult.
That's eerie.
Yeah.
It's funny because I feel like we have both complained about both. Where it's like, hey, you hate a cashier that's ignoring you and talking
Yeah.
to their coworker. You hate a cashier that's just talking to you way too much and trying to start up a conversation that has to end in the next 30 seconds.
Right.
Or it's weird. But then it's also like, yeah, no, that's uncomfortable. I don't want silence.
Every store should just have a self-scan checkout. That's it. That's the solution.
That's all.
And I know that
One
that's going to
self-scan
offend a bunch of people in middle America who were like, well,
Oh,
I don't want to work for the store.
Yeah.
But at least like don't close your self-scan checkouts. Just leave them open for me.
Yeah.
Let me buy my soap and let me use your self-scan checkouts.
I would say the gates that keep you. Well, that's shitty. That's very decisively like just not wanting homeless people to be clean.
Exactly.
Which is shitty.
Poor people smell bad. That's how we keep the class system in place.
And yeah, pretty much where we're starting. But like me walking past one of those, I'm even like, I don't want to go in there.
No,
it just feels like because there's obviously cameras there and shit. I'm like, I'm good. I'm gonna go anywhere else to buy my soap.
Exactly.
This is awful. I don't think it's a good strategy. I don't like it.
Me neither.
Should we do an episode on the politics of grocery stores?
Yeah, because it's also like, if you're worried about them stealing hygiene products, right?
Yeah.
But you're not worried about them stealing anything else in your store?
Yeah.
Anything from the other 20 aisles? The produce section? You're not worried about any of that?
This is a specific thing. Weirder. Hey, we're going to talk about hats. Don't worry. We're going to talk about hats. But the Vons down the road from me, they, within pretty, like right before the pandemic started, like everything's locked up in that area. The soaps, the toothpaste, pills, whatever you could need. And the alcohol, because they sold alcohol. The alcohol is at the front, like right when you come in the door. If you turn to your right, shelves and shelves. Really impressive liquor selection. And it's always been behind glass. They removed the glass from that. Everything else is still locked up. But you can walk in either. There are two entrances.
Right.
And a wall of liquor not locked up at all.
Huh. Yeah, I mean...
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
I'm happy to not have that locked up, but like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
Let me get some lotion and some hand soap and go the fuck home. I need toothpaste. I gotta call for help whenever I need to buy a new toothbrush. Fuck off.
Fuck off.
I gotta move out of LA. Anyway, should we talk about hats?
Let's talk about hats, baby.
Let's talk about, is there a hat that rhymes with that? Baseball hats.
I mean, I guess
hats, cabbie, beanie. Let's talk about some beanies. Okay, enough. Enough. We brought hats up months ago.
Onto our heads.
Because I was talking about needing a hat. Because I realized I think it was going to the play, what do we see, Moulin Rouge, that I don't have a hat I can even wear if I'm not like fancy occasion, but like if I'm just going out, I don't want to wear a baseball cap, and I'm a little baldy poo.
Fancy hat.
And I live in Los Angeles. What is a moderately stylish hat I could wear that doesn't make me look like a fucking fool?
Right.
So we said at the end of that episode that we would do an episode on hats when I have an update.
Yes.
And I have some updates.
Great. Plural.
I don't want to steamroll the episode. I am curious. You don't wear a lot of hats.
I don't.
Do you own hats?
I do.
I don't think I've ever seen you in one.
Yeah, I don't wear a lot of hats, and this is for a specific reason. And
Ooh, what's
that
up?
is, I don't think I look good in 99% of hats.
Ah, no.
And
Brutal.
even beanies, I don't really think I look very good in beanies, but sometimes it's just cold enough where fashion is out the window. It
I
is,
feel
the
like
goal is
everyone
to
looks
cover
good
as
in a
much
beanie.
skin. I was
Yeah.
told by my good friend and writing partner that 'cause one time we went to like a writer's uh meeting, and we were going over different pages, and it was cold enough, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna wear a beanie. And I wore
Yeah.
a black beanie, and he told me I look like one of the extras in Breaking Bad. I would be friends with Badger and Skinny Pete.
Skinny Pete. Yeah.
So
Okay.
uh that was that was like, I guess beanies are in that 99% of hats where
Uh,
it's tough to pull off.
that's the reverse of my story. What we were talking about. That's a comment he'll never think about again. That
Never.
you've told yourself, I can never wear beanies.
I can never wear beanies again because my
Damn.
friend made an offhanded remark to me 6 years
Yep.
ago.
I will never forget it. See, now I'm like, we gotta get you a hat. I think I have a theory for a hat that would look good on you, but we'll get to it.
I do. There are a couple kind of like more mesh baseball caps that
Yeah,
I
sure.
think for the most part do look good on me. So I have those that I'll wear occasionally. And here's the problem:
Yeah.
is I have um one that is black, or at least it was before it got super faded and is old now. And now
Yeah.
it's like some sort of gray. And
Happens.
the other one is red, which I don't feel comfortable wearing since
Oh,
2015,
totally.
2016 ish. All red
Ugh.
baseball caps have been ruined. So,
Dude. I've called you dude twice today. I don't think I've ever
dude.
called you dude before.
Yeah.
Dude. But like that's I don't even have it out anymore because I'm a big Los Angeles Clippers fan, and I bought a hat at a game before all the MAGA hats came out, and it's a red hat with a white and blue Clippers logo on it. The Clippers colors are red, white, and blue.
Ooh.
America, baby. So it's like a red, almost like a trucker's cap. Like it looks
Yeah.
from the back, it looks like a MAGA hat. And I remember sitting on the train going from Long Beach to Staples Center wearing this hat and just being like, never again. I'm never wearing this hat again. I can't do it. Ruined a whole fucking color of hat, you
I
dick.
know. And like so many of my clothes are like red or black. And so
Yeah.
like red just looks good with those colors.
Uh,
And now I can't do it.
I can do,
I
bro.
I meant
Now I'm calling you bro.
to grab these hats that look good on me before we started recording, but I didn't. So
I'm
just
surrounded by
pretend
hats.
they'll look good on me.
I brought so many hats out. I'm so ready. I'm so ready to show off my hats. And then people can go off of your reaction and
Great.
decide how they think it looks.
Yeah.
Okay. So a big part, like I said, I'll tell you a hat. I have one in front of me, a hat that I think would work on you.
Okay.
But we'll get there for a reason. But first off, I do want to say, yeah, I got into wearing baseball caps like truly not that long ago, probably within the last, I don't know, I don't know how many baseball caps I was really wearing while I lived in Seattle, maybe just the last few years there. So realistically, like 10 years, but
Yeah.
in my lifetime, that doesn't feel like a thing. I didn't used to like hats, but I've got a shit ton of baseball caps, and most baseball hats, baseball caps, whatever you call them, the lining that goes around my forehead, my magic weird sweat ruins every fucking baseball cap I've ever owned, except for 2.
Yeah.
And I keep trying to go like, oh, well, that's the good brand. Then I'll get another one of those, and then I'll ruin that hat. And I can't figure out what the constant is of the 2 that I haven't been able to fuck up. But my sweat will turn it into like a sawtooth. Like the band will just like constrict and just be like jagged. And then it's like
interesting.
sawing into my forehead, and it gives me pimples. And I don't like it. I've got weird sweat.
Interesting. I haven't had that problem. I've had it more
Nobody
where like
has.
the sweat causes like discoloration.
That
on
for
the
sure.
hat. But
That is
never anything where it changes the like structural integrity.
Right. I've looked it up so many times. It's kind of the one problem in my life that I've found impossible to Google. Nobody else has experienced this. And I could go grab, I think, 4 or 5 different hats right now and show you what I'm talking about if you needed to see. Obviously not necessary for a podcast,
Right.
but it's weird. My weird sweat is ruining my life. But the main crux of us talking about doing an episode on hats was I was going to go to a hattery.
Right. I do remember this
store. At the time I was talking about Panama hats. And like, okay, that seems to be something I could get away with. Certain amount of time passes. I'm kind of putting it off. And something happened. There's a hat store near my girlfriend's place, kind of like on the way to West Hollywood. The hat store actually might be in technically West Hollywood. I forget. It's called like Hollywood Hattery. It might literally just be called Hollywood Hattery.
I'm gonna look it up.
And it was the middle of the day. I was over in that area for something else. I was like, I'll stop in the hat store and I'll go see my girlfriend. And I go to the hat store. And I was nervous as fuck, which is weird. Who gives a shit? But it feels like a hat store feels like one of those stores where walking in, you're going to be like approached, and there's going to be an expectation that you're leaving with a $100 to $200 hat. You know what I mean?
You went to Hollywood Hatters? Is that
the place?
I'm assuming. I mean, I don't know where you went, but when I type in Hollywood
Hattery, is that where I went?
Hollywood Hatters is what comes up. Was it on Melrose?
Yes, yeah, I think that's the spot.
Yeah, because they also are showing their products here on the side of this Google search.
Yes,
and I never would have expected a hat to cost $325.
This is the wild world of hats. They're fucking expensive.
This is crazy.
What the hell?
I never would have expected this.
So
I don't want to pay more than like $60 for like a nice sweater. And you're telling me that
that's the thing.
A hat
we're a couple of frugal boys.
$325.
Yeah. Well, and it's one of those things like hats. Panama hats. I was like reading into it, looking into them, and it's like good ones. Like obviously you can get cheap, shitty ones, but good ones are handmade. Every single one of them, which is why they're so fucking expensive. Made straw, just by hand, and then sent out to America to go on my stupid head. It's a lot, but it's one of those like buy once, cry once. They say, like spend $300 on a hat; it'll last you your lifetime. Like fucking better, better. Anyway, so I walk in this place. I'm nervous. There's one shopkeep, one hatter, one mad hatter.
I was gonna ask if he was mad.
It's angry. It was a woman. Way to presume.
You got me.
I got you. There were other.
Check out our social media for my screenshot of the Notes app apologizing for my indiscretion.
Sorry to the Hatter community. um, there were a surprising amount of people in there shopping for hats. I never expected it. I expected people don't shop for hats, right? They do. I was not alone, which worked out because someone else needed help, and I listened. This is how I live my life. I listened to the shop or the Hatter talk to that person, and I was like, "Oh, this is interesting. If I were more comfortable, I could get a lot of good answers out of this person because she's looking at these hats and she's going." Well, you've got this sort of a face shape. I'll be honest, that type of hat normally doesn't work with that face shape. It's going to accentuate this about your face, which you might not want. I would recommend something more like this. We got this. She seems super fucking helpful. I was like, all right, I'm going to take all that information and just shop by myself and leave.
Right.
This is how I human. So I kind of like poked around. I found a few hats that I'm like, I could wear these. The bulk of the hats in there were of the fedora variety, which obviously we've talked about in the
Another
past.
thing that's been ruined.
Another thing that's been ruined. I wore one a little too much in high school. Because of course I did.
It is worth noting that our face shape does look good in a fedora. It's just the fedoras are it's a trap when they're in a store. It is to see who is foolish enough to buy one, who is not chronically online.
Yes. We got to sell all these fedoras. You've seen the pictures of the inside of the store? It's a lot of fedoras. But I found they have a decent amount of Panama hats in there, actually. And I found one that I'm like, okay, this is what I had been looking at online. And it kind of gave me it's easy to forget because who doesn't love online shopping? But I like going in person for certain things, and this is a great reason why. Of like, that is 100% what I was prepared to spend. I think I was looking at $150 to buy online, and I tried it on, and I was like, this actually isn't particularly comfortable as a bald person. I could see this working with hair, but without hair on the top of my head, this hat is uncomfortable. And I looked in the mirror, and I'm like, this is not a good look for me.
Okay.
So I had to rule that out. And of course, ruling out my number one, what I was looking for, did not mean, all right, time to go talk to the shopkeeper. It meant time to leave.
Time to go home.
And think about this for a few more months.
You failed.
I failed. So I failed and I left. I just got the fuck out of there. And that's where that part of the story ends. Which was sad, but I don't know. I don't know what it is about
unsatisfying conclusion, but not unexpected.
People have given me that review before. Not unexpected. Anyways, so now I'm in sad hat land because I'm like, the whole point was I want a hat that looks okay. Like I said before, in a situation where I wouldn't want to be wearing a baseball cap, but I need to protect my head from the sun. I can always just slather sunscreen on top of my head, but I like wearing hats. I've always kind of liked the idea of a hat, you know? It's
no
a style
cap,
thing.
as the kids say several months ago.
I didn't hear them say that. Why aren't the kids talking to me anymore? Come on, kids.
Come on, kids.
No cap.
Talk to your old man.
I don't know what it means.
Respect your elders.
Please. So it did get me reeling back to an original thought. And this brings me to the hat that I think would work for you. Maybe not a hat you want to buy like right the fuck now, Funk Soul Brother, but as you age, I think you're gonna age into this hat like a motherfucker.
Okay.
I've got one of these hats. I don't remember where it came from, except that it was originally for a costume, which is probably the bulk of the hats I own were for Halloween costumes. And I'd thrown it out as a like, you know what? I think this hat kind of works on me. And it's one of those like, my girlfriend is just like, no, that's the hat my dad wears all the fucking time. And when you wear that hat, you look exactly like my dad. So it's all right. You rule it out. It's gone. But I can't deny that I look pretty good in a driver's cap.
Aha.
And I think it would work for you.
Interesting. I've never tried one on. I mean, I've tried on, of course, a variety of baseball caps. I've tried on fedoras and things within the fedora family.
Yes.
But I've never tried on the driver's cap. I've never tried on a Kangol hat. So it's possible that would work for me. I do agree, like, that I could see myself having aged into that hat, but it feels very like 1920s to me, and I don't know if that's fair to the hat, but that is what just it triggers in my mind.
Right now, looking at it, I feel like Brian Johnson from AC/DC. Ready to rock.
I just don't know if I wore it right and it looked good on me, I reserve the right to change my mind. But I don't know if it would be my vibe. And I do agree that it does look good on you.
It doesn't look bad. I'm looking at myself right now. I don't know if
I would wear it all the time.
It's even like cocked to the side on my head a little because I've got headphones on and I'm trying to make this work and it's not. But I'm like, it looks pretty good. This is a shame. Yeah. Sorry, Jocelyn. We're going to have to break up. I got to wear this hat. Just got to wear this hat.
Or you buy a new hat for her dad.
There you go.
And he has to relinquish the title of driver's cap.
I'm the driver now.
Yes.
But it was a big thing for him. I know it was he'd been looking for a hat for a long time, and he's older than I am, believe it or not.
I mean,
it's probably okay. Best.
That's no judgment. But
I, me, and her father are so close in age. Okay, no. So again, back to square one. What the fuck do I do now?
Yeah, sombrero.
Right. It feels like people don't like that.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah, what about Mickey Mouse ears all the time?
Mickey Mouse ears all the time.
Did you ever because you of course were an annual pass holder.
Yeah.
Did you ever have a Mickey Mouse ear hat?
I had when I was a pass holder, I had the R2-D2 mouse ears hat. I'm not sure where that is. It's probably in my closet somewhere. But no, I never had like a traditional, just black mouse ear Disney hat. When I was a kid, we went once, and that's where I believe I told the story before about my Goffy hat. I tried it on in the other room. It's far too small now. My head is much bigger
that makes sense.
than it was when I was 6. Yeah, my dad called me Goffy because it was goofy, but he was tripping over the second O, so the O got knocked
Mm.
out, and they just called me Goffy for a long time, and I loved the attention. But yeah, you yourself, you
I
riding
must
those
have had
mouse ears?
I must have had some mouse ears when I was like a child.
Mm,
But the problem with the mouse ears hats and the problem that I have with a lot of hats, uh, the mouse ears specifically are like made for a round head, like
totally.
circular, and my head is much more oval shaped. I don't know if I
Same.
must have told this at some point, but when I was in like elementary school, we were getting ready to cross the street, and this other kid just turned to me and was like, "You have an egg shaped head," and then he walked away. Um,
Oh my god.
and
All these
so
people tearing you down.
I know. And then you start this episode rubbing it in my face that although you got a car full of people trying to date you.
Yeah, lifting me up, parading me through the street.
But I mean it is, he's not wrong. It was a rude thing to say, but it wasn't false. So it is more like oval shaped, which means that like the mouse ears or certain baseball hats that are more rigid in their
Yeah,
uh it's not the brim, but whatever that part of the hat is called. Um when it's
like a
more
trucker cap, like this,
yeah, I guess so.
just tall on top, rigid
Yeah,
front.
the rigid front, maybe it's like size wise I just haven't found a good one, but it is also tough because I feel like those don't go very far down my forehead, and so they just stick up extra high. But yeah, the shape of my head and then also my face shape make it hard for me to find a good hat. Um do we like that I've said the same thing that I said 25 minutes ago? How do we
I
feel
love
about
it.
this? Okay.
And it's making me realize something, and maybe I have a solution for you. Because
Okay.
I've always had an oblong head, and what I've done is gain a bunch of weight,
Okay.
and now I have a much more circular head. As I lose my neck and I gain in cheeks, cheeks for days.
Interesting. Is
My head is much more
that where
round than it
most of
used to
your
be.
weight gets gained? Is in the cheeks?
Yeah, seems to be.
Okay, because mine
My
seems to go
cheeks and my
more to
stomach.
the yeah. I get the stomach for sure.
Ugh, the worst. Can't get rid of it.
It is the worst. But you know, this is another thing that someone said to me unprompted once, that I carry with me to this day. Somebody in high school told me that when I gain weight, they expect it to all be in the neck and under the jaw to like hang down like a big fat gizzard.
Cool. Well, when you gain weight, I expect it to kill you. Have fun with that. Oh God, you've got a lot of cruel associates
Yeah, don't
in
I
your
though?
years. Oh wow. Uh, yeah, but yeah, I so you what you talked about what I considering this might be slightly different than what you were talking about, but like the kind of trucker's cap. I've always had a problem with. That's why this is normally they're like flat build. I don't like that. I don't like a flat build hat. It makes me very
I don't like
uncomfortable.
I don't like a
I don't
flat
like it.
build hat either. That's also like something I just associate with like everyone who was a douche in high school. So
Yeah, 100%.
that makes it tougher to go out and buy one.
But like truckers caps are like, I don't know if they're popular now, but they're much more in style again. And I
Yeah.
put this on, I'm like, it doesn't look bad. I've gotten a lot of free
Yeah.
truckers hats because I would never spend money on one. But I have free ones. I've got, this is a hot sauce hat I got from shooting a little ad thing for a hot sauce company in Portland. And I'm like, yeah, I could wear this around. I don't know.
Yeah.
Mesh it on the back, keep my head cool.
Yeah.
This whole episode is me just going like, maybe I should wear more hats.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that this hat looks good on you too. So
hey!
It's, I think that even though we have relatively similar appearance, when I see hats on you, I'm like, hat looks good. When I see hat on me, I say hat looks bad.
Well, I'm over here raking in all the compliments, and I just wanted to tell you, you've got an egg-shaped head, and when you gain weight, it's going to go to your neck.
Yes, thank you.
You know. I think I don't know what it is. We need a follow-up episode. We gotta try a bunch of hats on.
Yeah,
maybe that's part of the Vegas. We'll go to Vegas. They've got hat stores. I just want to go to Vegas.
You just want to go to Vegas. Here I was thinking, oh, maybe you and I will just go to Hollywood Hatters together.
That would probably be easier.
Try to find a hat.
Hey, I'm down. It's a longer trip for you, unless you want to find a hat store up near you. But I would love to go to a hat store together. Shoot a little try-on montage.
Yeah, I mean, it would definitely. Here's the thing, right? Is I have a lot of ideas for this podcast.
Great.
But they all require me to like ask people to do things, and so they're never going to get done.
No.
I would be like, we would need to interview the Hatter.
Yeah, totally. And it's that is the perfect example of someone that I'm sure would love to just hop on a stranger's podcast and talk about hats.
Yeah.
That would be an easy interview to get. None of us are going to ask.
None of the two of us are going to
Maybe
ask.
That's what, we got listeners. Let's get our listeners to ask people for us.
Yes.
We'll give them their contact info and just be, hey, can all of you please reach out to our friends?
Unless our maybe we have a listener who is a Hatter.
True.
And can help us out.
And that's 2 T's we're looking for. We don't want any haters.
No.
Unless you're Bill.
Yeah, that's with a D.
Mm-hmm. He's a hater.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting near the end, so I got to wrap up my tale of head covers. In the way that this always works, it's when you're not looking for something that something pops in front of you. I stopped looking for hats. I completely wrote it off. I'm like, you know what? Maybe that was a one-time thing. Other fancy things I do won't be in the sun, and I don't have to worry about it. And I'll go to Goodwill for something. And they've started having some like nice looking hats at my Goodwill, but nothing that was for me. And there's one time I went in and I was like, I saw a hat and I was like, damn, that's like a nice looking hat. And I picked it up and flipped it over and it was a Pendleton. And I'm like, oh, that's like a nice hat brand. And this was $7.99 on sale for $3.99. I'm like, hey, I don't know if I would
gotta buy it,
but bare minimum, it's like irresponsible not to buy this, and then I could like turn it around, sell it, or give it to someone who would wear it. But I'm also still kind of looking at it like this is kind of exactly what I was looking for, even though it's a big jump. It's a big hat. Is kind of where it ends up. So we're talking a wide-brimmed hat. It's a wool hat, wide-brimmed. I see it somewhere in between a fedora and a cowboy hat. Now, we know I don't want to wear a fedora.
Right.
That's rule number 1. I don't really feel comfortable being in a full-on cowboy hat. That feels like a bit much
in
Los Angeles. So, and I tried it on, and I'm like, God damn, it fits perfect. And because it's wool, it's so fucking comfortable on my bald ass head. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
all right, well, I'm buying it, bare minimum. We'll see. So I buy it, and I get it home, and I keep like trying it on, looking in the mirror. I'm like, do I like that? Do I not like that? It's a lot, but I'm like, it does kind of look good, or maybe I just
Yeah.
think it looks good. Now, I don't even know what order to tell all these things in. I will say, so I'll just say this now. Basically, now you know what? I'll show you the hat first. Okay,
Okay.
you ready for this?
Yeah.
I don't know if you're ready,
I'm ready.
and
Let's see this hat.
You got to give a visual response for the people because they can't see it. So
Right.
that's a lot, but there it is.
Okay. Yeah, I mean this is
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a wider
Borderline
brim.
sensible cowboy hat.
Yeah, it's like a yeah, it's it's like a wider brim Indiana Jones kind of hat.
Yeah,
It's almost like a cowboy hat mixed with like a sun hat. Um
kinda. Which is kind of what I had in mind because that's the thing. When I went to New Orleans and it was stupid hot, and my friend bought a cowboy hat, I was like, "Oh, I understand cowboy hats now. It like
right.
protects your neck and everything from the sun." I was like, "Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. I got to protect myself from the sun. This thing might do the trick."
Yeah, I mean, I know so little about hats because I don't know
Yeah.
if I've mentioned this before. I don't wear a lot of them because
Oh.
I don't find one that looks good on me. But
Ah.
this like I have seen this style of hat in a movie or a TV show or something,
Sure.
and I cannot place what it was, or maybe I saw it like on a celebrity. Who knows? But like
Hey,
this is a type of hat that is the best way that I can describe it. I've already done, and
you've
you've kind
crushed
of
it.
painted a picture as well. But there is like I know there's a better like apt description for it, and I just can't pull it.
Well, if you thought you saw a celebrity wearing it, you might have just seen me standing up properly wearing this hat and been like,
That's
"Oh, Leonardo
true.
DiCaprio."
I was like, "Whoa, is that guy single?
I'll take this thing
He
off. Well, no,
seems awesome."
I gotta keep it on for this part. So, if you wanted words, it was hard to look up because again, Pendleton, that's a big company. They
Yeah.
make a lot of hats, make a lot of jackets. So I'm looking through their website and I'm like, what the fuck is this hat? I can't find it. And I'm looking up like wide brimmed. It says it's wool in there. So like wool, wide brimmed Pendleton hat. Nothing is quite looking right. Nothing quite has the band around it that looks the same. And I finally found it. And the words to describe it are a woman's fedora.
Yeah. Yes.
And I'm like, well, that's not going to stop me from wearing it. But looking around the Pendleton website,
Maybe
their
Diane
hats.
Keaton is who I saw.
I mean, kind of. That's essentially
Yeah,
what it
kind
is.
of is.
You realize, like, oh, it's like the women hipster hat. But I
Yeah.
kind of look good in it. So fuck it. But like, the weird thing, I'm like, I don't have a problem wearing a woman's hat. That doesn't bother me. But on their website, 90% of their hats don't specify gender. I couldn't find a single hat that says this is a men's hat. It's like all
Interesting.
genderless hats, and then this
And then
definitely
this
for
specific
women's
hat.
fedora, which is what I didn't want.
Well, here's a question.
Yeah.
Do we think that it's because the internet
Hey.
problem with fedoras is on men. So maybe Pendleton
Yes.
was like, okay, we'll
Oh,
just put that
yeah.
like it's a women's hat so that we can still sell fedoras.
There you go. Maybe.
So maybe it really is unisex, and they just put that on there to not be like the laughing stock of online
internet.
batteries.
So I told this to my girlfriend. I took some pictures of it, sent it to her, and
Does she have the same exact hat in her closet? Please say
no.
yes.
But she did say we can share it, which
Okay.
we could. But I forget if it was like I had said it or she brought it up, but I was kind of like, I think I'm to the point where it's like, I do like it. I'm going to keep it, but I'm not at the point where I would at all feel remotely comfortable walking around my neighborhood wearing it. And she was like, that's stupid. Just wear it around your neighborhood. And you'll feel better about it. She's like, what's the worst that would happen? And I'm like, people that I know would tell me it looks stupid and chase after me. I'd have to run away. I don't know. My imagination's extreme, but I'm here to say I've worn this hat in public now twice. And it's scary.
Were you wearing this hat when the car full of people complimented you?
No, that's whose opinion I need to get now. I need to find that car.
You need to wait outside that building and wait for them to
notice anything different.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I was just walking my dog for the last 8 hours.
Ma'am. Milady. So I don't know. That's where we're at right now. That's my saga with the hat. I've got one now. I don't think it necessarily is exactly what I was looking for, like a nice hat that I'd wear. I don't think I would wear it to the theater, but sure. I do really like it. And Jocelyn and I, we're going away for the weekend, and I'm going to bring it. Oh, and I'm going to bring it.
Oh, yeah, you're going to bring it.
And we'll see.
You're going to bring it this weekend.
We'll see what happens. I don't fucking know. I'm nervous. It's a lot. It's a commitment. But now I'm going to get you into a hat commitment, too. We're going to a hat store.
Okay. I mean, I'm on board. But, I know we got to wrap this episode up.
We gotta.
And I surprisingly have a lot of things left to talk about with that.
So that's what I was talking about. I didn't want to dominate the episode. Part two.
How do you feel about silly hats?
Oh,
my brother was having a silly hat day at work, and so he has like a big, almost like Uncle Sam top hat, but it's like a basketball like net on the design, and like somebody's like, done a slam dunk on his head.
Oh, that sounds fun.
There's of course the beer beer hats.
Hey, I like that.
Yeah, what are your thoughts about silly wacky hats?
Jester cap, little boy with the spinny thing on top, hat. I have this is hard for me to talk about.
Yeah.
I had a reaction to you asking me about silly hats, which is funny in and of itself. Was it high school? I think it was high school, and that makes it worse. I think it was freshman year of high school. They had I forget what there was some reason. It's like, this is the wacky week, and every day there's a different theme, and you wear clothes to match that theme, or you don't, and you don't make any friends. Yep. And one of the days was silly hats or funny hat day, and it was one of those things. I was like, you know what, if there's anything I can crush, it's this. I can go I'm funny. They don't know it yet, but they'll all find out soon enough.
You'll see.
You'll all see. I'm hilarious. And I let too much time pass, and I didn't have a funny hat. And so I just put on a baseball cap, but I put on 4 of them with a bill facing in each direction.
Yeah.
And I did not get a good response to this. People didn't like it. I felt like an idiot in wearing 4 hats. It didn't go well. And so I don't think I've worn a silly hat ever since.
My
My origin story.
We took a field trip, I think 2 different years. We took a field trip to the Renaissance
Want to know
Fair.
how I got these hats?
And each time we went, I bought a Jester's hat. So at some point, I don't know if they're still in my parents' house or if I gave them to like Goodwill or something, but at some point I owned 2 different Jester caps. And they were 2 different styles, right? So there was the one style that's like just 3 long like points with the bells on the end.
Those? Yeah.
And then there's the shorter version with like a bunch of different spikes, all with bells on them. And then I also bought there's no way that this was accurate to the time period, but I bought what was essentially like an oversized newsboy cap that was like it was like an orange brim, and it was like made of like a felt material. With an orange brim, and then like the big kind of like upward swoop in the front and then low in the back, and then like a little fuzz ball in the center. And then it was like orange and white stripes on it. I guess that would, because of the size, would count as a silly hat.
I'd call that silly. Sounds silly as all get out.
Right, exactly. Yeah, those are my silly hats, but you better believe I never wore them after purchase. Because where are you gonna wear this?
I was just going to ask you, like, right now, would you feel more comfortable doing what I just did? Let's say it's the driver's cap, just walking around, going to the grocery store wearing this, coming back, or having an event that was a good excuse to wear another Jester's cap. Where would you feel more?
To wear another Jester's cap, 100%.
That would feel more comfortable. Okay.
That would feel more comfortable to me. But it's tough because the thing I realized after purchase, and you can argue I should have learned this after the first purchase and then not purchased a second one. But the problem that I had was that I don't love the constant ringing of the bells every time I turn my head or walk somewhere. So
that sucks.
That's the big downside to the Jester's cap.
I don't love attention, so I wore the wrong hat.
Yeah.
Ring-a-ding-ding. Chris is here.
Yeah, that's even more attention than the Goffy hat for sure.
Oh yeah. That's just a standard baseball cap. Just Goffy fucked it up.
We can maybe cut this sentence out if we need to, but the problem with like Goffy sounds too similar to Gaddafi. Do you agree?
I mean, it feels like a stretch to get there. It never occurred to me.
I'm not saying that they're equal. I'm just saying the name sounds similar.
Yeah. Hey, when you're right, you're right. I don't know where to go with that.
Maybe just where you can listen to more of this podcast.
If you want more of whatever this whole episode was, do you want us to wear more hats? Do you want to hear about it? We hope you do. Listen to us some more. You can find us everywhere. Everywhere you look, we'll be there. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, Pocket Casts, etc., etc. And every one of those places, you can do something for us. You can do us a little favor. You spent this time with us. You like us enough. Fucking go for it. Give us a rating. Give us a review. Let us know that you like us. That lets them know that you like us. And they will, promote us. Oh, they'll promote us everywhere. Believe me, you got to trust me. If you don't know, say you go to one of those places, you can't find us. It happens sometimes. You don't know where to look. You can find us on any of our social platforms, and those in our bio links, we've got links to all these spots. What are these social platforms you could find us at? Let's try Instagram. You heard of it? You can find us at How Do We Human.
We got that handle.
Give a little shout out to Twitter. You can find us at How Do We Human Pod.
Oh, we tweet those tweets.
Coming zooming from the back, it's Facebook. From the Metaverse itself. You can find us at How Do We Human.
I don't think you're ready for that handle. Can we talk about the Metaverse?
Is that an episode?
Oh, maybe.
Let's talk about
these
the Metaverse.
Commercials.
It's all that.
These actors are acting their hearts out in these commercials. They love being in the Metaverse.
Is it still where they're in the jungle, or are there new Meta commercials?
They're
I don't know the new Meta commercials. I'll watch them, and maybe this is an episode. But you gotta know that you can also always leave us an email. We're here for you. We want to see your hats. Send us an email. That is howdowehumanpod@gmail.com.
The best part of that handle is that it's an email.
Chris?
Yes.
What have you got going on these days?
Well, listen, I've made it no secret on this podcast. I am a big fan of the Bachelor Nation TV shows. But there are many other dating shows out there.
Oh yeah.
That I can't stand.
There's a lot.
The Bachelor, the Bachelorette, Bachelor in Paradise, for all their flaws, of which there are many. The episodes are too long.
Yeah.
They're casting people who want to just go on to become influencers.
Mm-hmm.
The drama to romance ratio is forever fucked up.
They've made all their flaws work in their favor, though.
Yes.
So it's masterful.
Exactly. And that's the thing, is it's still a well-crafted product.
Yeah.
And look, my girlfriend watches Love Island and Love is Blind, and I'm taking the stance that these are horrendously put together shows. Everybody has the same conversations 5 million times, and like every other sentence is accompanied by like a different aggressively loud pop song that you've never heard of.
No.
And it drives me nuts. But the way my mind works, I'm always looking for a way to profit off of the things that get under my skin.
And you're always looking for a hosting gig on a dating show.
I'm always looking for a hosting gig on a dating show. So it turns out the way to get that is not to take somebody else's job, but to create a show that then needs me to host.
Yeah.
And so we're a lot of these shows want to get all of these vapid single hot people out in their bathing suits.
Yeah.
And so to do that, you got to get out to some ocean related location.
Got it.
And so I am I'm slapping together a shoddily made show with a bunch of hot vapid singles out in the ocean. So come join my Netflix show.
Was that just a decision now? It's going to Netflix?
No, it was that I had started the sentence in a way that didn't make sense for what I needed to say.
Okay, just wanted to make sure Netflix is in on the plan.
Netflix is all in on the plan.
Okay.
So check out my Netflix show, Trashy Love, making a match in the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. That's right. We're out there on that trash floating island making connections.
You got me at Trashy Love :
I thought I might. Also, real quick, I want to make another plug.
Oh, wow.
Because this is the episode to do it.
Got it.
I don't know if you're on board with this idea, Evan, but I was thinking like a hat that's like full of razor blades to like shave your head.
Okay, might need some kinks worked out of it, but
Okay.
I'll think about it.
Okay,
It just might be crazy enough to work.
I don't know if the that joke works since we had an episode in between where we didn't plug it. But Evan,
I guess we did. You listen to all of our episodes.
Do you
never forget?
Have anything that you would like to plug?
Barely.
Great.
But I've been thinking about it. I was talking with someone about like these people, the watch people. I think you and I were talking about watches recently. Were we? Maybe.
Maybe.
People like themselves a smartwatch.
Yes, they do.
And that's like, I don't even think you give a shit about telling time. I think you just want your texts.
Yeah.
This is a facade. Why make it even look like a watch? But while it's there, if you're having that feeling like, you know what, I'm attached to it. I love my smartwatch, but I am feeling a bit too connected. We all kind of took that trip through those first couple of years of the pandemic. Like, am I a bit too connected? Here's the solution. Just put your smartwatch on your ankle. Then it's farther away, and you gotta work for it. You basically got to go down and tie your shoes every time you want to see your text messages. That's just a little recommendation from me. Your old pal Evan in the women's fedora. That's all we got. So I guess hats off to us.
Yes, hats off.
And I guess just plain old goodbye.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.